As we approach 2027 elections, what is the biggest threat to our democracy right now?
The biggest threat to our democracy is the refusal of people to honor our rotational arrangement that exists. That when the SAT does 8 years, they not to do 8 years. Tinubu was here. Buhari was here. People respected that. Buhari is our own brother from the north. We respected that. We stood by that. Today is the turn of the South. And I think the Southerners should be allowed to complete their 8-year time. It's my belief, and I stand by it firmly. And no Northerner will just come and say, you can't be contesting in every election. You should be able to have people you can trust. From 2000, you are a vice president. You should be able to have people you can trust and say, go and be a vice presidential candidate to this person. Let it not produce young people. Let them produce fresh knowledge. Let them produce competent hands that can be part of the process. It can't just be you. As I'm sitting here today, I don't believe I'm the most competent person to govern anything. I believe there are other people. But I always tell people, look, you select from the best. So we cannot have a situation that 2027 election is being undermined by the refusal to maintain the sensitive nature of our political agreement. And the danger that comes from that is because the APC itself have decided that they do not believe in elections. And they do not believe in transparency. Look at the way they passed the Electoral Act. Look at what they did to the Electoral Act. They are creating obnoxious laws that do not have a place in our laws, saying that people should submit their party register between 21 days before primaries. Are you saying that Section 40 of the Constitution is suspended within that 21 days? Because the Section 40 gives you right to association. The right to association, you have it in the Constitution. Are you saying between that 21 days, I have no right to associate? Why they are doing that is that they are trying to force people who will lose election and primaries in their party from not moving out. They are not doing it for the best interest of our country. There are a lot of laws they brought, there are a lot of renewed laws they brought. That if you put it with the grand laws of this country, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, will not stand. And the judiciary must wake up. Even under the military, we had hope in the judiciary. Today, the judiciary, Nigerians are complaining that their trust and hope in the judiciary is dead. And if they feel they are happy that they want to keep it that way, let them continue. The consequences will be so hard on all of us. Because it's supposed to be the last buffer for any citizen to believe that they can go to court and get justice against the might and those in power. But today, people don't really have confidence in that process. The judiciary must wake up that any Nigerian that becomes president was elected by Nigerians. And as a Nigerian has a right to be part of being a president. And they should stop beholden to power. They should be responsible and committed to the sanctity of our Constitution, to the principles that governance must be transparent, must be responsible, to the yearning and interest of the people. The electoral umpire have lost all sense of reputation. There's no reputation. There's no trust in there. It is a all-time low after the 2023 election. It became even worse with what they have done with all the political parties. It's not just one party. They did it with ADC. They did it with Labour. They did it with NMPP. They are doing it everywhere. They don't obey laws. Except they get a small phone call from behind. So the electoral umpire must know that the commission was established by law to be independent of those in power. Yes, they have the appointing authority. And that's why we have to go through confirmation by the Senate and the National Assembly. So but the appointing authority does not have total control of the commission. And you should be able to know that that power was given to you in trust to conduct transparent election so that the interest of our people will be protected, not for you to protect the interest of those in power. And that's what the electoral umpire has become.
Now that you talked about the electoral umpire, INEC chairman just recently said that insecurity is a threat to a credible, free, and fair elections. And the opposition are saying, is this laying an alibi for what is likely to be a flawed election? What do you make of that comment from the INEC chairman?
I don't know which data the INEC chairman was relying on. It does not control the armed forces. The armed forces have not made such statement. Even in 2014, 2015, prior to 2015, where conditions were really this bad, we still had an election. We had an election conducted in most of those areas. It is not the responsibility of INEC chairman to say that. It's an umpire. It's not his responsibility to start saying what will affect it. What he should be saying is what INEC will do to make elections credible. That's what he should be saying. He shouldn't be saying that kind of a thing to try to create an alibi or establish a foundation for the for the planned attempt to undermine the election. That's how Nigerians sees it. And since when is partisanship leaked on social media, Nigerians have really lost it with the trust for him. But I know the commission will survive this. Because there are a lot of Nigerians that are in the commission that I know. They are very responsible people that really want Nigeria to work and really want the election to be transparent. And they should stand their ground. Because the commission alone does not revolve around the INEC chairman. There are a lot of other people. Just like what Mark Igini did in River State, in Akwa Ibom State. Others can do. To be able to see that we save this country. Oh, this country needs our commitment. It needs our love. We can't continue like this forever. We'll get to a breaking point where everybody will suffer. We shouldn't get to that point because governance is very important. Those who are saying they will not be part of government, that they don't want to be politicians, I'm sorry to say that government, after God, dictates the affairs of men on earth. So if you don't want to be, you will bear the consequences for bad leadership. Today, Jabil Park has been taken over by government. This is where I go to do exercise with a lot of people. I used to see Chudoka there. I see people there. It's a very big place, open to poor and rich. When I saw them demolishing and blocking that place, I saw how the pain in the eyes of those who are doing small and petty trading there. You have taken this on the way. How do you solve security when you keep on oppressing the poor? And Wike is saying that anybody would like even taking it to God, that it has come to see. And that's why I tell a lot of intellectuals, a lot of my friends, be partisan. It is not a sin. It is not a cause. Don't let them use that derogative language to defend it. Politics is about policy. It's about governance. It's about development. Be part of it. We can't surrender our government to people who are not sensitive to our people. We don't care about the plight of the common man. We don't care about the plight of the downtrodden. I was there. I have videos on my phone. I go to Jabil Park 5 times a week. If I'm tired, by 5 o'clock, I go there. If I'm in the afternoon, if I'm passing in the way, I can come down, change my clothes, do exercise, play tennis. Because I'm very good at playing tennis. Why from time? So I play tennis. They will watch this video and they will tell you that I said it. That I was there. I'm always there. So now, government have taken it because government have overriding right on all land. Does not mean that you should be insensitive. Does not mean that you should detach yourself from the concerns of the poor people. It is this government that is meant for both the rich and the poor. And the rich should not just be the benefit of what government should be.
You talked about the FCT minister. He said if Taminu Turaki faction of the PDP say they are strong enough, just to say it literally, that they should open any office anywhere, he will close it down. Open any bank account, he will close it down. What do you make of comments like this?
It's the arrogance of power. And that bad thing, that power you see is displaying. It's not his. It is from the presidency. Because it's not the president now. If I was commander-in-chief, or you have Peter Obi as commander, none of his workers, none of his ministers will behave like that. You shouldn't be saying that. Which power do you have? You close it down, you close it down. You know, there's consequences. So people have done worse than Wike, who later saw the negative consequence of the result. What he's doing today, you might think that there will not be consequences. You might think that Nigerians are very docile. Nigerians don't remember anything. They are shortage, their attention span on issues move on. But history will record it in the way it will record it. And it will not be fair to him. And I also saw something at people who campaigned that Peter Obi did the ID card for Northerners in Anambra. It is brazen lie, total lie. The document is there. The person who did ID card for Northerners is Rochas Okorocha in Imo. What have I said here about Tinubu that is a lie? And I'm not going to say Tinubu, went to Kano and slept and tried to kill some Muslims. I won't say that. It's not true. It's a lie. But I will always say the things that are true about how he manages public resources, about how he's insensitive to Nigerian people, not to tell lies. There's no document that proves, even the internet never forget, it's there, that Obi never did an ID card for Northerners in Anambra. It was Rochas Okorocha while he was governor of Imo State. So I end up saying this, that whatever Wike think he's doing today, people have done worse before him. They didn't put God into the equation. Abacha was very powerful. They didn't put God into the equation. They made mistakes. A pastor, respected woman of God, knelt down on the altar, is pleading with you to please think of poor people. You are replying the person that even if God comes down, haba, No, what level of power gets to that level? I don't think this is reasonable. And I know a lot of Nigerians are disgusted by the things that are happening in this country. But they have decided to stay away. Staying away will not save you. The one of the boy that was shot and that died with a bullet, he was sleeping in his room. Stay away won't save you. What will save us is participatory democracy. We must be involved. We must canvass our neighbors to vote. We must tell, because Nigerian population, we're going to maybe cross 100 million voters before the 2027 election. And we can't be having less than 10% going out to vote. If we have 40% of that population go out to vote, they will overwhelm the system. And the system will surrender and we will elect the person of our choice. The reason why rigging is easy is when there's no mass participation. When there's mass participation and the interest is obvious that the people want to be able to determine the course of their own future, without anything, the government will stay back. How many are going to kill? They can't. The soldiers have friends, they have family, they have loved ones. They will go back. But when there's scanty participation, they will be more stronger in carrying out those evil plans against our people. So I've talked to all the academy. I go to universities. I tell them I'm going to deliver another speech at the University of Abuja political event on 28th. I'm still going to tell intellectuals there and scholars, please don't run away from politics. Students, this country was in the 90s. The Guineas, the Ubanis, from the 70s, it was run by students. Not the student of today, not the nurse of today that goes to the president, that go to government house to collect money. It was students that were in charge. They had no telephone, no mind you. People like Great Oracle, Abdul, they were in prison. What they do is that from University of Abuja, University of Jos, sorry, Abuja was not there. They move in the night and appear in University of Lagos. We were like, see, if you look at the way we were looking at these young people, but the mistake, what mistake did they make? Abakuba, what's his name? Yes. What mistake did they make? Let me tell you the mistake they made. They say in 1999 that they will not participate in politics. All of them, they agree they're not going to participate because they refuse to participate. The only person amongst them who tried to participate, who went, was Cross River Governor. He was part of all those who were doing just agitation. Donald Duke became governor. And you saw what he did. Because his view of politics was different. He tried to create TINAPA. If TINAPA was sustained, it would have been earning foreign currency for us today. But it wasn't sustained. And government does not know how to do what China have done. By federal government thinking that it's not a state policy. It's not a state property. It should be a Nigerian state policy. There's such level of infrastructure. We would have invested billion into it, make it a recreational park, so that our president don't go to vacation in France and in London. Just like American president will go to Camp David. China will remain in China. You understand? We should have done that. So most of those people, young people who were active, who were civil society activists, did not know that they needed to transform to political activists in order to be in government to now transform our country. And they left it for buccaneers, politicians who came and bastardized the economy and turned us 1 naira, the level of naira, which has now been worsened by Tinubu government, to 1,400 and something per dollar. We cannot leave it for them. They are not interested in this country. It is us as a people. We must make sure this country works.